cloud is a substance, but it has accidents that are not, they're not necessary. Like a cloud could be black. It's accidental. So it's not denying its nature, or it's not a contradiction in that way. But I mean, the skeptics, they're an interesting bunch. And then empiricists will not go beyond induction. An empiricist will say you can't really get a universal from all these particulars. These are nominalists. And the problem today, most, if you're in academia, in science or anything like that, what you're dealing with metaphysically is nominalists. Most people are nominalists metaphysically, and we're not. We're essentialists. We believe in essences. Whether those essences, like Ibn Arabi argues, whether they're real and they have a real existence, a'yan thabita, or whether they have wujud dhihni, that's a debate amongst the ulama. But they're in agreement that there are essences. And then, so they're nominalists metaphysically, they're atheists theologically. They tend to be. So these are the assumptions that they have. They're atheists theologically. And then they're materialists, right? In terms of their view, anthropologically. They're just the way they deal with humans. This is what Kreft argues, and I think it's accurate. And they're empiricists by their epistemology, so they don't believe in rationalism. And if you're interested in this topic, there's an incredible book. It's probably one of the most interesting books on this subject. If you're a doctor, a physician, it's called Divided Legacy by Harris Coulter. It's 3 volumes, but if you want this problem, it's all articulated in the first volume. But it's an amazing book that argues that there have been 2 forms of medicine, and they've been in an antagonistic relationship throughout history, which is empirical medicine and rational medicine. Chinese medicine is rational, which doesn't mean that it doesn't have an empirical aspect, but it's rational in that it has a theory, and then it applies that theory to the particulars. So, if you go see Dr. Yang, and he takes your pulse, he's going to say your lung qi is weak, or he looks at your tongue, and because of the color of your tongue, he discerns that you have too much heat. That's a rational medicine because he's using empirical science, but he has a rational theory of why those things, why the tongue is dark as opposed to light, because a healthy tongue should be very pink, light pink, generally. Obviously that's not for all, because certain groups of people you have to take into consideration, different groups, but generally that's true, and you'll see that with children too. And then they should be moist, and you have too much heat, they tend to get dry. So that's a rational approach to medicine. Homeopathy is a rational medicine. There's a theory behind it. Whereas in allopathic medicine, it's purely empirical. There's no real theories behind asthma. You just treat it, the symptoms. They can give you, that this person has atopic, they have certain reactive airway disease, or they have, they'll have causation. They'll talk about causation, but they don't have real theories about why these things happen, why they come about. And that also, when you get into looking at logic, you have to discern what types of because that you're using. Is it a causative, logical, psychological? People use those in different ways. And so they can give you a cause and effect type of because, but they can't really give you a logical because in medicine, allopathic. That's